Who I am, this is what I do. So right now, what I want to discuss is how I went from being a truck driver to pursuing my dreams, my goals, and my vision that I had for my life. I can tell you where I started from, where I came from, where I am now, and every step of the way on this journey to becoming an artist. So yeah, like I said, I go by the name of Legendary, which is my artist name. And what really pushed me to the brink of pursuing my dream was me not feeling like I was making an impact on the world. I know there's people out there that may need my story, that may need the same encouragement that I had to have during my times of trouble. So really, what it was I basically was a struggling truck driver. And one day I was sitting at my kitchen table and I was thinking about things. I was like, is this really the way I want to live? Is this really how I want to go about, how I want to be perceived by the world? Is this really who I am? So I started thinking and I started reflecting on my life, and I came to a conclusion that this is not who I am. This is not what I was brought here to do. I feel like I am here to inspire, to help others in their time of trouble, in their time of need, and help other people see the light at the end of the darkness that they're going through. So basically, what I did was I started to pray. I started to say, like, is this really it? Is this really who I am? Am I really this? Am I really brought here to be this mediocre or not have any impact? I'm not helping anyone. I'm not encouraging anyone. And that became a desire for me. That became what I started to embody. And once I asked that question, once I put that into my mind and I asked myself that, things started happening. Like everything started going wrong, every single thing, to the point where I was even evicted out of my home. So that story it's just absolutely bonkers how that happened. So I was invited to a church, and it was with my family, and they asked me, we had a little friendly race. So everybody thought they could beat each other. So we started a foot race, and I didn't notice that we were on a hill. So I'm not originally from Georgia where I reside. I am from Mississippi where there's mostly flat land. So I'm used to all the flat lands and everything. So what happened was we started a foot race, and I was running pretty hard, pretty fast. Pause. But once I started running, I had on jeans, like long pants. So I was barely even given the flexibility to run. So when I was running, I noticed that I started to go downhill. I was going downhill. I started getting faster. I'm like, oh yeah, I got this. So once I got closer to the finish line, I was going downhill uncontrollably. And all of a sudden, I found myself rolling down the hill. Bloop, 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 bloop. So rolling down the hill. So all of a sudden, I get up real fast. You hop up, you pop up, and you think you did something. But I looked down, and I saw holes in my pants and my knees. I'm like, oh man, I just tore these new jeans up I just bought just to come to church. But anyway, it had some blood in there, and I was rubbing, and I was like, oh man, it hurts a little bit. But in the moment, my adrenaline was so high, I didn't really feel the impact. So I drove. It was about a 30-minute drive back home. So I drove home. Everything was cool, having a conversation and everything, driving home. And once I got home and I tried to step out of the car, I couldn't get out. I could not get out of the car. So my leg was so stiff. I'm like, man, did I really just hurt something? And mind you, I had already prayed before all of this happened. And I'm thinking like, man, this can't be me. This is, this can't be who I am. This can't be what I do for a living. Like I'm just reflecting on everything. For some reason, for years I was comfortable with being that person, that persona that I was in as a truck driver. I was okay with it. So I was getting out of the car and my leg wouldn't move. So I finally got help out of the car. I got out of the car, I almost fell because I couldn't stand on my right leg. I said, oh man, I really messed something up. So I went to the hospital and they did all the tests and everything. And I ended up tearing a ligament in my right knee. And so I'm like, man, I'm a delivery driver for Coca-Cola. So I need this leg to work. And so I ended up leaving the hospital on crutches. And I couldn't do that physical work at the moment because I tore a ligament in my knee. So once I realized that, I got all my paperwork, all my doctor's excuses and everything that happened to me, and I took it up there to my job to let them know that I'll be out for a while because I did hurt my leg. And I know it wasn't on the job, but I hurt myself. So I got to the job. Mind you, I'm one of the only black people on this job. So I got there. I was on crutches and I walked in. Everything, paperwork, everything laid out. So I was told once I got there that everything is fine. We're gonna make sure you pay while you're injured. We're gonna do this, we're gonna do that, we're gonna do this, we're gonna make sure you're good so you can recover and come back stronger than ever. So I did that. I believed that. I said, okay, cool, we're gonna be good. Everything's gonna be paid, bills gonna be paid, all of that. So once I got home, and about a week later, I started looking for my check. I didn't receive a direct deposit. So I was checked the mailbox, and what I saw was a letter from Coca-Cola from where I was working at here in Georgia. And they told me, sorry, sir, we're gonna have to let you go. We're not gonna continue with your employment here at Coca-Cola, so you're no longer a delivery driver with us. I'm like, are you serious? Mind you, I have a family that I'm taking care of. They're dependent on me, solely me, to take care of everything in this home that we're in. So panic started, frustration started, arguments started, all because of me depending on working for someone else and not being able to take care of my responsibilities of what I had going on. Even though that was out of my control, it still happened. And mind you, I was just talking and praying and asking for a different route, help. So I'm thinking like, man, this can't be true. So mind you, I was taking care of everything and I hurt my leg, so I couldn't do anything. So all of a sudden, everything started piling up. Bills coming in, after bills, because bills don't stop. they don't stop. So everything started to pile up on me, and it got to the point where arguing every day, frustration is just there because of the lack of finances. So I didn't have multiple streams of income. I didn't have a business. I wasn't in the right mindset to begin my entrepreneurial journey or whatever. And when that happened, everything just went downhill. Lights were off. Thank God for my parents to help me out on that part. Had no water. Had to go to the next. I was living in an apartment, so like a duplex. So I went next door outside the back where there was a water hydrant. So I used to fill up the buckets, put the water in the buckets, walk back to the house, flush the toilets. Mind you, we had to use the restroom, flush the toilets, wash the dishes or whatever, go back outside, sneak, make sure nobody's looking, peek around, go and get some more water, bring it back into the house, flush the toilets again, just to make sure we're good. I'm out here on crutches trying to get some water and make sure it wasn't even mine. But yeah, lights were turned off, water. Then, and the big one happened. Got to get out of here. You got to go. You got to vacate the premises ASAP. So I'm like, man, they're going to kick me out of here. I didn't even know how to discuss that with my family at the time. Just didn't know how to do it. So, yeah, that happened. Came home one day from work. I was driving a rail crew van. So I was picking up the railroad, the train driver, the people who drive the trains. I was taking them to their next destinations and everything. So I was working for a rail crew, picking them up every day because all I do was, deliver. So I know how to drive. So I'm doing that. I'm taking them to where they need to go. Came home one day. Mind you, I didn't even have a car because my car was gone too. Car got repoed too. So lost that as well. And yeah. So we're going to rail crew, taking them to where they needed to go. And I came home one day, all of my stuff was outside. My daughter's stuff was outside. All of our stuff was just on the ground, like we were just nothing, And that really hit me mentally. Took a real hard turn in my life. It had already started the day I had a different thought, or I started to change my mentality. Like, this is not who I'm supposed to be. So it started from there. So basically, it been started a long time ago. Now it's just taking form into my reality. So all of that, it's like everything had to be washed clean and renewed, But it was tough in the moment. And my family had to go back to Mississippi. And I didn't want to go. I did not want to go. I literally didn't want to go by any means necessary. So what I did was I got a car from Lyft. And thank God for Lyft. I ain't gonna even hold you, but thank God for Lyft. I got a car from them. I was renting a car with them, and I was paying that bill every week, driving, doing Lyft, and I was still going to. I got another job working for 10 Roads Express now. So I was driving for 10 Roads Express, and I was trying to get back on my feet. And I was staying from Airbnb to Airbnb, being evicted and everything. It kind of takes a hit on your record. So it was tough for us to get a place at the time. And I was just going from Airbnb to Airbnb. Thank God for Airbnb as well, because I don't know, those times that I needed a place to go, it really came through for us. And so I was renting a Lyft car. So it was the 4th of July came around, and this was before I did all the Lyft car and everything. But the 4th of July came around, my family went back to Mississippi, went to visit, just decided to stay because they saw that something as big is coming. This before all of that stuff happened. So my daughter had to go back to Mississippi and live there. And yeah, man, it was so tough. It's tough even thinking about it. So trying to get my thoughts together, but it is tough going back to where I was, but I did want to get this out so I can help someone and maybe help someone during their time of need as well. Because I was watching videos of motivational videos, inspirational videos, reading my Bible, doing everything I can to get my mind in the right position to handle these things. So, me telling this story, I hope it helps someone. But yeah, I was sleeping in the lift car at truck stops, behind hotels before I got booted out of the parking lot. But I was driving Lyft every day with the car Lyft let me, rent and work. And I was doing that, and I was going to drive for 10 Roads Express as well, trying to get myself together. And I was just tough, sleeping in the car. Man, thinking about it. At the time, I knew I had somewhere I was going, what I was trying to get to. I knew I had goals. I knew I had something to pursue. So I knew where I was trying to go. So first time even thinking about, I need to write down my goals and work towards something, to give my mind something to work towards, because just running around in life without any kind of direction is just like a car with no driver, So, or 18-wheeler with no driver, any way you want to put it. But I was doing that, sleeping in the car, nowhere to go, sleeping from Airbnb to Airbnb. Finally, I had to go back home to Mississippi with my parents. And I do really thank them for allowing me to do that and be able to get myself together and get going again. And it took a while, man. It took longer than I even expected, which is why I didn't want to go back to Mississippi in the first place, because the opportunities are limited. So here I am thinking I'm an artist, which I was, because I actually did what I had to do, and I've been around music all my life. Albeit it was gospel, I kind of found that that's not really, I don't know if my voice fits that. So I started doing other things. So I started doing a few hip hop songs and everything, and I got that out on all platforms now. And how I came up with the name Legendary, my name is Derry. Well, my full name is Ladarius, but they call me Derry. So just one day it just came across my mind, Legendary, you legendary. Somebody will know your story and they will be so inspired by it that it becomes something more than you can even imagine. Like, you can help so many people. And that was mainly the goal. I was writing down how many people I wanted to help, how many homeless people I wanted to put in homes, how many homeless people I wanted to feed, who I wanted to help, why I wanted to help. I just started going. I just started writing down everything that I always wanted to accomplish that I never told anyone, still don't tell anyone to this day. But I had desires and aspirations, and I came here with those desires and aspirations, and I just want to continue to evolve and grow into that. So I started making music because I thought it was, it's my way out. Like everybody thinks it's my way out. So I started doing that. And once you do what you set your mind out to do, it don't matter who sees you. It don't matter if you have 1 listener, 2 listeners, 0 listeners. You still are successful because you did what you said you were gonna do. So the rest follows after you continue to do what you set your mind to. And I actually started to believe in myself, which I didn't do in so long, because life was getting just dull. Going to work, come home, eat, go to sleep, go to work, go home, eat, sleep, go to work, go home, watch sports, play the game a little bit. It started to get dull, and you started to stop believing that you're meant for anything great. But I started to see a different perspective on my life. And once I did that, I started finding that that fire within me. I started to find that desire that I always had since I was a kid, which was to help as many people as I can. I know I probably was a bad little kid, but you know, I still had something I had to do, and there's a reason I'm here. So I just wanted to get that story out and just continue to keep going and continue to look forward to the goals, visions, aspirations that you have, and never give up on it. Never give up on it. I don't care what you go through. Once you write down those goals, life is going to kind of work. It's going to kind of throw tests at you that you have to pass. You have to pass those tests. And once you pass those tests, you will see just how amazing you really are. Your potential is it's crazy. It's out of this world. Like the abilities we have to think, the abilities we have to create. We don't all have to compete with each other. We can just create. That's one of the main principles that I live by. Like I don't want to compete with anyone. I just want to create. Just want to have fun and be free. That's the main thing that I'm going for is freedom. You don't want to have to wake up every morning and someone telling me that I have to do this or I won't get this certain amount of money or I have to do that. The main goal is freedom. And that's exactly what we all aim for, is that freedom to be able to say, man, my family is good for the next 30, 40, 50 years. I can even pass this down to my next generation. That's really the main goal that we're looking to do or looking to accomplish. We just all want to make sure that we're good. And most of the things that happen is from living in survival mode. Like we always are in survival mode, trying to make ends meet. And we can't spend much time we want to spend with our kids because we have to go away from our family in order to provide for our family, which is why I wanted to do something different. I wanted to show my creativity, and I know I had talents God gave me, so I wanted to use that talent to inspire others and to show others that it is possible no matter where you come from. I came from Mississippi, in a little small town, Cleveland, Mississippi, and not many people make it out of there, except maybe, you had to be like 7 feet tall. Like Johnny O'Brien made it out of my high school. KJ Williams, he just made it, stayed right across the street from me, grew up with him. He made it to the NBA, he played for the Oklahoma City Thunder. Oklahoma City Thunder. Congratulations, KJ. But yeah, we can do it. We just have to put our mind to it, and whatever you want to do, whatever you want to be, you first have to start with believing that you can do and be that. And then you have to be that. No matter what they say, no matter what your circumstances look like, no matter how far deep in the hole you seem to be, you still have to embody that mindset that I am who I want to be. I am that person. And it starts with changing our mindsets and our perspective on how life is, on how we see the world. So even if you're struggling right now, you have to know that there's greater. You can't get no lower than what you are. And you have to know that God is who he says he is. Like he's like infinite. You always have whatever you need when you need it. And by me pursuing my dreams and my goals of becoming an artist, I have so much more in my tank that I can bring to the world and inspire others. And I want to show my daughter, even though we've been through this, we can always come out of it. And we always will. As long as we believe in something greater than ourselves, and as long as we believe in something greater than our problems that we're facing at the moment, we'll be okay. Because we have somewhere to go. Even we have a goal to look forward to. We have beliefs in our mind that we believe. Sometimes we grow up believing we'll never have enough. We're always struggling, or we don't have anything to eat. We don't have anything, all of those limiting beliefs. I can't do it. I can't do this because of this. I can't do that because of this. You can always do it. You just if you just buckle down, change those perspectives, change your beliefs, and get away from those limiting beliefs, then the potential is there. And we don't have to compete. It's 7 billion people in the world. Somebody's gonna like and learn from what you're doing. So that's pretty much where I came from, and some of the things that I've been through. But I have plenty more stories I can tell. But I just wanted to get that out and encourage someone to keep going. And if you ever need someone to talk to, I'm open to anything, any conversation, anything. If you want do music, I'm open to doing that as well. If you feel like you're stuck in a certain perspective in your mind, I can help you with that as well. So yeah, just reach out to me, leave a comment below, and we can start talking. Tell you a little bit more about. I can tell you a little bit more about me, and you can tell me a little more about you and where you come from, and just being a help to each other, encouraging. Just try to help each other navigate through life. This is what love is.